Libra, how you doing? How you doing? Time for some bonus material. New Year's messages, all right? This is going to be kind of loosely tailored to the last couple of months of 2020 and the first couple of months of 2021, all right? If you would like information on scheduling a personal reading, please look in the description of the video. Everything you need to know is down there. Hello, we got a commenter and a viewer. Thank you for tuning in. Got a few more of you in here. How you doing? What's up, y'all? So, what important messages do we have for Libra universe? And there's a really annoying jet flying over my house now. Sorry if there's any background noise. Anyway, let's see. This is going to be kind of loosely felt out, okay? Current person, past person, new person. Whatever comes through first, that's what we're reading, okay? We'll see what we got here. What do we got for Libra universe? Ace of Swords in the reverse, okay? To be 100% honest with you, the avenues that I could take with that are like too drastic, so I'm gonna go ahead and shuffle into this first before I see how that plays in exactly. Let's get 4 shuffles in. There's 1, 2, 2 more. Ten of Swords. Okay. All right, so this is definitely something that came to an end in the past. Ooh, but you have some new stuff coming in here. Could be an earth sign here. Okay, so I'm seeing new energy here. Okay, it's kind of slow rolling too. Kind of slow rolling. With this entire past situation right here, I think a lot of you probably spent way too much time hung up on it. Okay? You were hung up on this for way too long. And it's to the point now where, like I tell everybody, time doesn't heal things. What time does is it allows like the dust to settle so that you can get your thoughts together. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm seeing happening here. I don't really think you're 100% healed from it yet. 9 of Swords reverse, 10 of Swords. But at least that process has begun. I think for a lot of you, this is the past situation is something that you were hung up on for so long that now enough time has passed to where it's just like, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything left to hang on to, you know? And slowly but surely, new things are rolling in for you here, okay? Like I said, it could be an earth sign, but I feel like this new person that's headed your way is a bit cautious, okay? This communication is kind of happening slowly and kind of cold and closed off. You may not even recognize it to be anything specific here, you know, like specifically a love offer or things of that nature. It's so kind of cold and distant that it doesn't really look like, it doesn't feel like a lot of emotional, heartfelt, you know, something that's going to go anywhere really. It's just kind of distant, you know. For example, the cashier at the gas station, you know, they ain't really hitting on you, but for whatever reason, they just stand there. You notice when you're in line, they talk to you a little bit longer than they do all the other people every time you go in there. And you're like, is this me? I don't know why. Why is it that they hang around? They pay more attention to me, you know. You understand what I'm talking about? That type of energy. But I do think that this person here is a bit lonely, okay? This person is the lonely type, okay? But I see you going through this big battle of ego and intuition, okay? In the past, things went wrong, and you're immediately jumping to, okay, how can I use my intuition to protect me, to keep me safe? How can I logically figure out how to use my intuition as a tool to keep me out of harm? And the minute we start doing that, that's when ego and intuition intertwine together. So I see you having one hell of a battle in your head, trying to figure out how to intuitively move forward. And it's moving kind of slow. Okay? You're a bit reluctant to take a leap of faith. Again, this past situation, I think kind of messed with you pretty hardcore. Okay? I don't think that you want to miss out on any new opportunities, but you also don't want to get your heart broken again. You know, there's that Libra scale, just a flipping and a flopping, right? Oh, but you know what? There is much more emphasis here on the past than there is on the new. So we are going to go ahead and read the past next, okay? Going to go ahead and read the past next. Let's look at this past person Libra is dealing with. Past person. If you are not interested in or connecting with a past person, this is not for you. Past person. How do they feel? How do they see you? How do they view you? What are their intentions? What actions are they most likely going to take? Are you going to hear from them? Whatever wants to come through about the past person Libra's dealing with. Okay, the High Priestess reversed for them too. 4 shuffles here. Five of Cups. Okay. Yes, this individual here is definitely, I don't know, they're getting over it, but when it all comes down to it, I think this person here is just like the negative type of person anyway, okay? I think that they have been waiting very, very patiently on a new opportunity to hopefully try to work things out here, okay? I do think that they have, but it's not happening. It's not happening. For whatever reason, it just hasn't been happening. I think that this person has new opportunities being made available to them, but they don't really. And I've been saying this a lot in the past couple of readings too. But they don't have a sense of direction. I don't know any other way to word that. When I say a sense of direction, do you have a sense of foresight? Do you have an idea of where you want to go and how you're going to get there? I don't think this person does. I think this person is walking right past the open doorways of opportunity and waiting on doors that are closed to open themselves, okay? I think that they're a bit manipulative too. They are a bit manipulative. They want to come back around though, they do. They do. I think they've been waiting on, I don't know if they're waiting on you to reach out or maybe waiting on a good opportunity to reach out to you, or probably more than anything waiting on you to reach out here, okay? Is probably what they've been waiting on, but hang on, here we go. King of Cups, yeah, they still love you. They definitely still have feelings for you. But the more time rolls on, I feel like they are left with pretty much no choice but to drop it. I don't see them actually taking any action. They're waiting on you. Okay? But not for long. Not for long. I think that you're actually getting over this a little bit quicker than them. You're getting over this a little bit quicker than them, but too much longer, and they're letting the tower fall and they're moving on. They're letting the tower fall and they're moving on, okay? Very negative type of person anyway. I wouldn't recommend. We're going to see what the advice is here in a minute. I honestly didn't really like that all that much. That didn't tell me everything that I wanted to know, but if that's what came through, that's what came through. So let's look at the advice. What advice do we have for Libra? Advice. What advice do we have? The Ace of Coins reversed. 3 shuffles. 1, 2, and 3. Three of Cups, 9 of Coins, Queen of Coins reversed, the World card, okay. All right, so some of you are dealing with a Cancer. I wouldn't open up communication. I would not. That healing process, keep going through with it, okay? Keep going through with it. If you attempt, like say for example, well, regardless, if they reach out or if you decide to reach out and you get sucked back into that trap again, it ain't gonna be pretty. Oh, it ain't gonna be pretty, okay? I have never even if reconciliation is in the books as a possibility, I've never seen a scenario in which reconciliation would be for your greatest good. I never have. I never personally have, okay? But I don't really think reconciliation is a possibility between the two of you. Okay? Learn to distinguish the difference between your ego and your intuition without judgment. Okay? A lot of you are having this battle, I think, because you're judging one as being better than the other, right? I mean, it's very, very common. We think intuition is good and ego is bad, right? No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. You know, some of the most world-renowned, famous criminals and serial killers were highly intuitive. Highly intuitive. Okay? Just because you're intuitive doesn't mean you're this cute little angel floating on a cloud, playing a harp and wearing a halo. No. Distinguish the difference. The goal is not to get rid of the ego. That's not the goal. When people say that, it just makes me want to put a pie in their face, dude. That's so stupid. No, you're not here to get rid of the ego. Your higher self, your spirit, incarnated into ego form for a very specific reason. You can't get rid of the ego. Okay, that's stupid. The goal is to transcend the ego. Okay, to get the ego and the higher self together, working on the same team together. Okay, but if you don't know which one's which, how the hell are you going to do that? How the hell are you going to do that? Okay, let's see. I don't have a whole lot of time to sit and break it all down, but I can give you a couple of pointers, okay? And again, this is different for everybody. Ego, the minute you start trying to calculate, okay? So, in order to do this, I need to take these steps and make this happen. And if I do that, then this should happen as a result. And I better not do that or else this might happen. You know, the minute you start calculating, that's the ego. That's the ego, okay? Ego doesn't mean bad. It has a bad connotation to it, but it's not. That's the ego. Whenever you just know something and you have, okay, when you know something that sounds so bizarre that you don't even want to say it, you don't even want to say it because it sounds crazy. It sounds crazy, so you don't even want to say it. That's your intuition. I don't know how I know this. I have no idea how I know this. I just know. There is no calculations that you could add up to bring you this knowledge. There is no words spoken. It's not even spoken in your head as a language. That's another thing that's ego. The minute you start hearing it with that linguistic part in your brain and you know that voice in your head, that's ego. But the minute it's just a feeling, almost as if somebody told you it was going to happen and you already know. You know? There's no way to really explain it. There are no words. There is no calculating. There is no 3D way to bring this information to anybody. That's your intuition, okay? So one of our biggest mistakes is we try to take the ego and logically figure the intuition out. It doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. That's when your ego and intuition get all tangled together, okay? Just learn to distinguish the difference between the two, okay? One's not better than the other. Just call it out for what it is. Oh, okay, that's the ego. Ooh, that's the higher self. Okay. Oh, that's the ego. I'm calculating. I'm talking in a human voice. Oh, that's the intuition. I don't know how I know that. You know? Again, I don't have a whole lot of time to move forward on that. But as far as this past person right here, don't do it, man. Allow yourself to heal. Don't get sucked into that game again. Don't get sucked into that game again, okay? All right, so let's look at the new person, okay? New things coming in. If you are not dealing with or interested in any new things coming in, this is not for you, okay? New things coming in for Libra for the new year. New things coming in. I have not read one sign yet that does not have new, very successful things coming in. I have not, okay? So those of you who know my style, who have been following me for quite some time, that says something, don't it? But I'm not one of them readers that's going to sprinkle sugar on your reading to make it sound cute. Oh, I have pissed off thousands of people because I read what I see. If it's negative, I read it negative. But I haven't read one sign yet as far as the new things coming in that does not have new, successful things coming in, okay? Let's get 5 shuffles. 1, 2, 3, 2 more. Nine of Cups. Hey, there's that energy. Lovers in the reverse. Okay. So, yes, definitely new things coming in. Now, here's the interesting thing, okay? See, everything that manifests in your physical reality, see, we look at it backwards as humans, okay? Our biggest mistake is we want the outside world to do something before we feel better, right? How many times have you said that? Look, we're humans, dude. We've all done it. I've done it. You've done it. Once this perfect person comes along and loves me, then I'll feel whole and complete and all my problems will go away. Once I have more money, then I'll feel relaxed and stress-free and everything will be... But it doesn't work that way, does it? No, never has. It never will. Okay? So the interesting thing about it is you all are stepping into the frequency that will attract this new person, okay? You're stepping into the frequency. Most people do it out of frustration, okay? You're very conflicted inside. Most of us who have attracted our person do it when we can't take no more heartbreak. I can't take no more pain, dude. I can't do it. I'm done with that game. That's when you step into the frequency of true love, okay? It looks like the way it rests in this moment is going to be a bit of a slow rolling ball because that conflict that's going on inside of your head, it's got to die down at some point. It's got to die down, okay? Diana, thanks for that super chat. Deanna, I hope I pronounced that right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So it's going to be moving kind of slow. Could be an Aries headed your way. I also have Gemini here with the Lovers in the reverse. See? But once you step into this right here, that's when this shows up. This is all past energy right here, okay? Again, a lot of you clung to that past situation for so long that it took a really long time. It took a long time. The connection is getting weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. And it's to the point to where the connection's about to snap. But since a lot of you were entirely too stubborn and didn't let go on your own, it looks like it's going to drag out and drag out and drag out until the cord finally snaps, okay? Which didn't have to. If you would have let go a long time ago, we could have avoided this. But there is no right or wrong way. There are just paths and experiences. You know this. So it looks like it's going to take quite some time. Once you throw in the white towel and admit defeat from the old battle, that's when this new energy is coming through, okay? And as long as you maintain this frequency, it'll be extremely successful, okay? The problem is we are moving out of an old paradigm into a new paradigm, okay? The old paradigm, which is what we have been programmed and indoctrinated to believe for decades and decades and decades and decades and decades, is that when two people come together, there needs to be an emotionally codependent energy between the two, okay? I've told you all this before, but about a month or so ago, we were cleaning house here at the good old Rich Lop Castle, right? And we were jamming some music. And I'm 32, okay? So my childhood was in the 90s. And this really popular 90s song came on, okay? I'm sure you all have heard it. Britney Spears, okay? It was like a top hit in the 90s. And she keeps repeating, "My loneliness is killing me," you know? "When I'm not with you, I lose my mind." And I'm thinking, dude, I'm not just dissing Britney, okay? So don't take it there. I'm not dissing her, okay? Since my grandparents were kids, for decades and decades and decades and decades and decades, music, movies, and TV have been programming us to believe that feeling lonely, broken, and empty is totally fucking normal. That's just normal. And I think probably worse than that, we've been programmed to believe that a lover is what we need to make that feeling go away. That's the old paradigm. That's the old paradigm. And if it worked that way, none of you would be here today, would you? Not watching me. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. You would be with your happily ever after person if it worked that way. But it didn't work that way, did it? Okay, because that is not the way energy truly behaves. Okay, that's an illusion. A very, very, very erroneously fed illusion. An illusion nonetheless. Okay? So, we are stepping into a new paradigm. Into a new paradigm. No, no type of codependence. I mean, I'm not saying we don't have our bad days. We all have our bad days. Oh, I need you, baby. I'm doing bad today. That's cool, and that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the actual frequency that connects you to a person, okay? If it is loneliness and emptiness, the likelihood of something happening between the two of you that complements the frequency of loneliness and emptiness is very, very high. As within, so without, okay? So it's a bit of a different type of energy. It's a bit of a different type of energy. Whenever you are emotionally independent, by default, you switch to a new frequency. And that's when your person shows up. But again, the dynamic is so different. It's something to the effect of this. I don't need you. I don't need you to make me feel better. I don't need you for my self-esteem. If you walked out that door, okay, I mean, bummer, but I can make do. I can fulfill myself. And I can tell you don't need me for that. So we have nothing to use each other for. When two codependents come together, it's like two mosquitoes biting each other on the ass, you know, trying to suck blood from each other. It doesn't work. It doesn't work, does it? It doesn't work. Two empty cups can't fill each other. But now when two full cups come together, now I can share with you the love that I have. We can share love. We with two full cups, now we can build together. Now that we have that shit out of the way, we can build together. Now we can grow together. Okay? When you are not with your person, which a lot of people out there aren't, every time an issue arises, which it will, there is no such thing as a perfect relationship without ups and downs. Here's the difference. When it's not your person, every time a speed bump happens in the relationship, it's like a crack in a windshield, right? It's a crack. The connection's a little bit weaker, okay? And the next time you hit a speed bump, get into an argument, get into a fight, something happens, one of you loses your job, some sort of difficulty, it's another crack. The connection gets weaker. And every time these things happen, which they will, there is no way to avoid that, the connection gets weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker until it finally shatters. But when you're with your person, when you step into that frequency of true love and attract your person that way, and your match shows up, guess what? It's like going to the gym and working out. Okay? You pump them weights, you're tearing your muscles. What happens when they heal? It gets bigger and stronger. When you're with your person, it's not a crack in the windshield. It's not. The two of you become closer. You grow together. You begin to intertwine, to become one, unit. You grow together stronger with each challenge that arises. You grow together as a more firm unit. That's the only way that I can think to word it. Okay? And that is the only way to bring that person in. And you all are stepping into that frequency. Oh, yes, you are. Oh, yes, you are. I just don't think you know it. I don't think you realize it, which most people don't. I was just telling this to, who did I do last? Virgo? I believe it was Virgo. I was just saying this. Have you ever met one of those couples that's really, really successful? Like one of those, like fairy tale love type of couples. They're very rare. They don't have to be, but they are. Like that couple, dude, when you meet them, it makes you jealous, dude. You're like, how the fuck, man, do you all... I want that kind of love, dude. I want that. Well, if you ever get the chance to meet a couple like that, or maybe you perhaps know one, ask them a few questions about what brought them together. How'd you meet? Where'd you meet? It'll blow your mind. I'll tell you what they won't say. They will never. One of those successful couples will never say, oh, we broke up and got back together. I had to sit around and wait on them. We were on and off for a year. We were on and off for a year, and then we finally came together. No. You'll never hear them say that. You know what you will hear them say, though? We met by fucking accident. We met by accident, dude. Wasn't even looking for a relationship. Never could have dreamed of meeting somebody where we met. It was totally out of the blue. It was totally random. Love was the last thing on my mind. But, see, I've met a handful of these couples like this in my life. And you know what my all-time favorite thing that they say is? My all-time favorite thing is, they're not even my type. They're not even my type. Well, of course they're not your type. If your type was the type of person that you really needed to be with, you wouldn't have had so many failed relationships, would you? Think about that. Think about that. What would inspire me to get on the frequency of true love, stop looking for love in another person, stop waiting on somebody to bring love to me, and be fulfilled with myself? What would inspire me to do that? To the point to where I meet my fucking person by accident without even looking for him, without thinking about it. That Nine of Cups energy is what brings that to you. Think about it. Okay, let's look at the advice here. Well, I just gave you a bunch of personal advice, but let's look at the Tarot's advice. The Eight of Swords. Okay, 4 shuffles, 1, 2. 2 more. You done? All right. So this is a dualistic dimension that we live in. Okay. Don't ever shut out and try to deny the existence of negativity. Okay. That's not what we're here doing. See, how many of you have heard somebody say, or maybe you've said this, man, every time things start going really fucking good, something comes along and just destroys it all. How many of you have heard somebody say that or said that yourself? You want to know why that happens? Because this is a dualistic dimension. Positive and negative must coexist in duality. In this dimension, we are vibrating up out of it, okay? But for this dimension, the one that we're currently in, that's the way it works. Just like, where does up end and down begin? Where does right end and left begin? Positive and negative must coexist. Here's the difference. Whenever things start going really fucking good, what you're doing is you're running straight towards the light and you're trying to outrun the dark. That's what you're trying to do. Shutting it out, slamming doors in its face so that we're surrounded with nothing but light. Well, the law of balance says that's got to balance itself out. Got to balance itself out somehow. So that's when that negative comes and crashes like a tidal wave to balance everything back out again. Do not try to shut out and ignore negativity. Ever. What you don't want to do is feed it any of your power. The light wolf and the dark wolf, don't try to shoot and kill the dark wolf. You can't do it. It won't work. It won't work. I get it, but it won't work. Chain that bastard up in the corner and starve him to death. Don't feed him. Yeah, I know you're there, dark wolf, you asshole. Guess what? I ain't feeding you. I ain't feeding you. I'm feeding the light wolf. Okay? So don't put your head in the sand and be naive, but just don't feed that any of your power. Don't feed it any of your attention. Okay? Take accountability for your own emotional state, Libra. Quit blaming the outside world on how you feel. Okay? I know that sounds kind of mean and harsh, but it's very important to understand that the outside world doesn't happen to us. It happens in response to us. It happens in response to us. Okay? And even when the illusion is so convincing, which I'm guarantee you, there's probably 100 of you right now that are really mad now that I said that, and you want to, oh no, this thing happened to me. Okay, so you have a very persistent illusion there. Now, use that as an opportunity. That's the universe teaching you something. Okay, I don't like it any more than you, that the other side a lot of times uses very painful things to teach us lessons. Very painful. Excruciatingly painful, dude. But I'm going to tell you what. If you take heed and you say, okay, did this happen to me or did it happen for me? This bad thing that happened to me. I'm not downplaying anybody's experiences. Okay? Did this thing happen to me or did it happen for me? Okay? Am I going to wallow around in the woe is me, I'm a victim, which will do nothing but keep creating more situations in which you're a victim. There is no escape from that pool if you're playing that game. Nobody's going to come pull you out of that. It doesn't work that way. But am I going to do that? Or am I going to take all the bricks that are thrown at me, all the bricks, all the stones that everybody has thrown at me, and build a big fucking staircase and climb my ass up out of this hole? Think about that. Think about that, okay? Anyway, I feel like the messages my Libras needed to hear have come through. I greatly appreciate all y'all for tuning in and playing along. Thank y'all so much for the likes, the comments, and the super chats. Don't forget to look in the description of the video for information on scheduling personal readings. It's all down there, man. Everything you need to know, okay? I am going to go ahead and get out of here now. Thanks again for tuning in and showing love. I'll see you sometime between now and the rest of all eternity, all right? Y'all have a good one.